2 weeks ago in Indianapolis, the Supercross Nation stood up and cheered as Hoosier Mike LaRocco won in front of family and friends. Call this one a victory for the working man. In his 202nd main event start, Iron Mike captured career win number 10. Now, as this series moves north, he needs to hold off points leader Chad Reed and fellow Honda rider Kevin Windham. The Rock goes for 2 in a row next on ESPN2. Welcome to Pontiac, Michigan and the Silverdome for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele welcoming you to Pontiac, Michigan. Well, the big news this week did not happen on the track, it happened off the track. Ricky Carmichael has left Team Honda. Announcement coming out today, Carmichael has jumped ship, and here's what he had to say. Yes, I have signed an agreement to race with Team Suzuki beginning with the 2005 Supercross season. I'm looking forward to working with Roger DeCoster and will do my best to help put Suzuki back on top. I'm not sure which bike I'll be racing, but I know that I will have the option to test both the 2-stroke and 4-stroke. I know Suzuki has a quality bike and is very committed to winning. This past Thursday, I got back on a motorcycle for the first time in months, and it feels great. I'm already focused on getting to the outdoor season and winning another title riding a Honda. Please understand that my undivided attention will be with Honda until my contract is up. When I begin Suzuki, I will show them the same respect. He goes on to say that I know there are a lot of questions out there about who my mechanic will be in the future, etc. Please bear with me as my team works out all the details over the next few months. Please understand that my focus is on racing now and specifically on winning my 8th consecutive outdoor title. End quote. So that from Ricky Carmichael. Cameron, your thoughts?
I mean, it's amazing. Not since, well, Jeremy McGrath going to KTM, everybody was shocked then. But this really, I mean, silly season, the rumors, everybody says, don't count on anything. And then all of a sudden, one that you thought would never happen. Ricky leaves Honda, goes to Suzuki. But, hey, there's still a lot of unfinished business out there. Chad Reed and James Stewart both due to be 250 stars next year. They're both unsigned as well. And let's not figure this. We don't leave Honda all the way on the outs because they already have Kevin Windham and Mike LaRocco signed for next year, both guys that have won Supercrosses this year.
And you talk about Mike LaRocco, as we said at the top of the show 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis, his home state. The Rock comes out and picks up a huge victory, not only for himself, but for Team Honda.
Well, I won't say I'm as surprised about the LaRocco thing about Ricky, but, man, I think the whole Supercross world just blew up when The Rock won. It was so cool. Everybody's amped, and couldn't happen to a better guy.
No question about it. Earlier today, our Jamie Little caught up with Mike LaRocco.
Nobody is going to forget what happened in Indy. Mike LaRocco, hometown boy, takes the whole shot and the win. Mike, has life changed at all for you over the last couple weeks?
No, it's a little noisier, but other than that, that was a good week. I was, I had a good start and rode a clean race, and that was, what I've been trying to do all year, and finally got that out of my system. So hopefully I can, keep that going.
So you going to tell me the secret about your whole shot yet?
No.
Keep that
it's on the down low, yeah.
So tell me honestly, you've been around for so long. You've been to Motocross Nations. You've won championships. How did that win in your hometown compare?
Well, that one is definitely right up there. I mean, to win in your home crowd and with what went on last week was really cool. It was, I've never seen anything like that as far as a crowd, and that felt good, and that probably, never be matched.
All right. Well, Mike LaRocco, watch for him tonight. He's got that little secret. We'll see if it works.
Thank you, Jamie. And remember, it all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada, the official destination of Supercross. Folks, go online and get your tickets now to join us at the finale in beautiful Las Vegas. As we take a look at the THQ AMA Supercross Series standings, it's Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Mike LaRocco, David Vuillemin, and Michael Byrne, your top 5. As we check out the THQ World Supercross GP standings, there's Damon Huffman with a 3-point lead over Heath Voss. And Cameron, I think this is one that's definitely going to be decided in Las Vegas.
Oh, for sure. I mean, 3 points separating these guys. Heath Voss got off to a really slow start on the season, so to speak. and then Damon Huffman has an injured ankle. Damon is still kind of limping around, it's still swollen, but Heath Voss is on his game, so he's got to watch out. I talked to the Voss camp. They said, hey, we're focusing on getting top 5 in the AMA points. If we do that, we'll win the world title. I think they're just trying to take the pressure off of Heath.
Well, we know one thing. We've got a great track tonight at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Right now it's time for the MX Unleashed track experience.
Taking you out on the Supercross track on the left, the view from the helmet. On the right, that's Ryan Clark taking us for a ride on board his Team Solitaire Fly Racing Dragon motorcycle. That's a 65-foot triple, and then a right-hand turn into this rhythm section. You can't triple into that. You can't triple in the middle of it. It should be a great place for passing tonight. A standard step on, step off. Then they're going to want triple. Watch that little landing. It's very sharp. And then you can see Ryan looking. The whoops are very sharp and tricky. Third gear for the fast riders entering. You see Ryan dropping and coming up the inside. That is the master of Supercross right now, Chad Reed, unweighting that left foot, jumping through a little rhythm section. Check this little line. Look how steep that is where Chad pops up and pops up again. Someone may triple through it, hop through this section, a little bit more rhythm in the finish line. That's your MX Unleashed track experience.
250, heat number 1, staging on the line. Here's how you make it to the main event. There's 2 heats, 4 transfer, 2 semis, 5 transfer, 1 LCQ, only 2 transfer. 20 riders make the prestigious main event. As the 30 board goes up, we'll take a look at the riders in this heat. Kevin Windham, Mike LaRocco, the winner in Indianapolis. Nick Way, a Michigan guy, riding the Suzuki. Heath Voss is also there. And Sean Hamlin, who just had the corrective LASIK surgery, told me his vision is crystal clear.
He was blown away. I was talking to him in the tunnel. He's like, I can actually see. I can see my alarm clock. Everything's cool. And there's our helmet camera from Ryan Clark. Board sideways. They're going racing.
It's a very short stretch. Look at LaRocco, goes right to the front of the class. Mike LaRocco getting a taste of whole shot heaven and likes what he sees. Goes back. Can LaRocco hold it off as they come through? Craig Anderson. Look at that.
Craig Anderson putting a wheel on the rock. Wait a minute here. Let's see what LaRocco goes for. That triple in this section comes up short. Throws off his rhythm. That's going to give a team
Kevin Windham
outlet.
slides in there. So it's Anderson, Windham, Eric Vallejo, and then Mike LaRocco paying the price for casing that triple. But he's right there in a top 4 position. And here he does making a run on Vallejo. But out in front, it's Windham who gets past Craig Anderson.
And a clean pass, but he did come up, take Craig's line from him. Craig moving backwards, and Windham, who we've seen win, didn't have great lap times in practice, but as we always say with Windham, he doesn't care about the lap time. When it comes to race time, then he's going to show you how fast he can go.
Kevin Windham, born with a poker face, doesn't show you a whole lot in practice, doesn't show you a whole lot in heat races, but when it comes time to go racing in the main event, he sure seems to come up aces. So Windham's out in front, followed by Anderson, and then LaRocco, Vallejo in 4th, and Tommy Hoffmaster right now sitting in 5th.
And you see Windham jump triple into that rhythm section. Not a lot of guys doing that. There's a couple different ways. You can triple in and then double-double. You can double, triple, and then double. So you got to watch it. There's going to be some passing in there, and the whoops will be tricky tonight. You see Kevin Blassie get a lot of speed coming in, shifting up into 3rd gear. Problem's going to be when guys start to drop their wheel, they got to make sure they don't go over the bars. And this section right here in practice, Kevin actually threw a little surprise to a couple of people with the triple through there. Don't know if he's going to be able to do it in practice, but or in the race here. It looks like Crago's got his hands full.
Craig Anderson out of Australia on board the Honda, currently sitting in 2nd place, has his hands full with Mike LaRocco, number 5, your winner in Indianapolis. Coming back, trying to make it twice as nice. LaRocco sitting in 3rd place right now. As you pointed out, Cameron, Craig Anderson in 2nd, takes a look over and goes, oh, great, just who I wanted to see, Mike LaRocco.
Well, we saw Mike go for the triple right here, and he clipped that top, so he couldn't go for the triple again, or maybe he's just thinking, since I already had a problem there, I'm not going to do that. We see yellow flags, and they're going back and biding his time nicely, but that's going to leave some time for other people to come up into the fray. We see a Suzuki sneaking in there, and that's the local boy.
Nick Way sliding number 27. It looks like Anderson might get past twice. LaRocco gets past Anderson. Nick Way comes to the inside with a lot of speed. LaRocco has to shut him down. So Way moves up another position. So Craig Anderson, going the wrong way fast, was in 2nd. Now moves back to 4th.
And we got...
Heath Voss coming into the picture, number 28 on board the Yamaha. We talk about the World Supercross GP. Really 2 titles up for grabs here, Cameron. Heath Voss, as you talked to him in his camp, they want to go top 5 in the AMA, and that'll give him quite possibly a World Supercross GP win.
And we know the rider he's riding against, Damon Huffman, saw some problems with his ankles. But Heath Voss has been incredible coming on as of late, on the gas, really riding well, picking up the slack, you know, too, because Ezra Lusk, his teammate, hadn't been racing, so he was the sole man coming out of that Mach 1 Yamaha factory Yamaha semi, and you see him kind of swooping the line right there. Anderson having to pull up and double.
Wow, so Voss moves up yet another position into 4th. Remember, the top 4 going to the main. We'll be back to Detroit after this. Welcome back to Pontiac, Michigan. We are inside the Silverdome. This is 250 heat number 1. And your leader, number 14, Kevin Windham. If you're just joining us, Ricky Carmichael has announced that in 2005 he will ride for Team Suzuki. So Kevin Windham gets a little more pressure on his shoulders probably from Team Honda, as will Mike LaRocco, also a Honda rider. And Cameron, as we see a Suzuki coming into play of Nick Way, how does this shake things up, the dynamics of the team?
Well, I mean, having Ricky Carmichael on the team is going to give everybody, you know, some skill from the testing, from every angle possible, from the views of a champion. Let's not forget Roger DeCoster and Rick Johnson are part of that team. I mean, they got some great people. They've been helping Nick Way quite a bit. You see Nick right there on the number 27 factory Suzuki bike. He's from Michigan. He's chasing down right now. I mean, one of the legends of the sport, trying to get it. You see LaRocco maybe had a little bit of trouble with that timing section, but he came up just a little short there again, and see if Nick can actually put some time on him.
Nick Way, number 27, as Cameron pointed out, from Michigan, DeWitt, Michigan, on the Suzuki RM250 American Suzuki Motor Corp and Dunlop sponsored ride. So Roger DeCoster has his hands full from 2005. Who do you keep? Who do you let go? You got Ricky Carmichael. You obviously build a team around him.
Well, obviously, I mean, he's a star. And, I mean, the rumors still persist because you got to also remember that Chad Reed is unsigned, Bubba's unsigned, and there's a whole host of other guys like Ernesto Fonseca, Nate Ramsey. Those guys don't have deals either. So a lot of people are waiting to find out what's going to happen.
It'll be a veritable feeding frenzy in the off-season for Supercross to find out who lines up come next January in 2005. Right now, though, your leader is Kevin Windham here in 250 heat number 1. Mike LaRocco continues to maintain 2nd, and Nick Way in 3rd. Heath Voss in a great position right now, 4th, which is a transfer position into the main event. All these guys trying to avoid a semi-race and most definitely an LCQ race.
Both LaRocco and Way carrying good speed to the whoop, staying on top, not dropping in there. That's going to be key. If you can do that every lap in the main event to being a part of this. But right now, you know, Windham is basically checked out on these two guys. They're going to have to find somewhere on this track where they can pick up some speed. And both these guys are riding 2-stroke bikes. Windham on the 4-stroke is a little loose here tonight in the corners, and there's a lot of rocks, a lot of places to slip, so maybe the 4-stroke can have a little bit of an advantage. We'll see how that shapes up when Chad Reed comes to the plate in heat number 2 and then the main event, though.
This is the final lap. Your leader, Kevin Windham. Nick Way trying to reel in Mike LaRocco, getting a better position when he gets to the main event. Kevin Windham, though, did not get the whole shot. Was in 4th place in the first lap as they came to the green, but it has been all Windham ever since then. Gradually picking his way to the pack as he has one more left-hand turn, and Windham will see a checkered flag.
He's still not out of this points championship completely. He's really got to be on and have a problem with Chad. He's 30 points back, but takes a win right there in the heat race.
Mike LaRocco coming through. He'll get 2nd place. Nick Way will secure 3rd. So all 3 of those gentlemen on their way to the main event. And the 4th place finisher, number 28, Heath Voss. There are the official results. 250 heat number 1. Windham, LaRocco, Way, and Voss all advancing on. Tyler Evans headlines the field that is headed to a semifinal. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, it was certainly a sea of red in the first turn there, but Kevin Windham prevailed. Kevin, would you say that that track's pretty conducive to the 4-stroke because you really got some time on the rest of the pack?
Yeah, definitely. Normally in Pontiac here, it's soft and ruddy. Tonight it's kind of hard and slick in places. And it felt good to get the Honda up front. And like you said, there was a bunch. And I don't know what's gotten into Mike LaRocco, but he's always up there on the starts now. So hopefully he can get out in the main and we can put him 1 and 2 like we did at Indy.
And I I think it's about time K-Dub gets up here on the #1 spot. You're tired of getting second, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been a while since I had a win, but I'd like to thank all my sponsors, especially Honda, Factory Connection, and No Fear, for putting in all the efforts to help me get up here. Hopefully I can do it tonight for them.
It's now time for 250 heat number 2. 20 riders going 8 laps, the top 4 to the main event. As we take a look at the starting grid, headlined by our points leader Chad Reed, David Vuillemin, and Michael Byrne. David Huffman also in there, and here's a guy who's trying to get healthy as fast as he can so he can hold off the charge and get that World Supercross GP title.
Well, we already saw that Heath Voss is into the main event, so Damon's got to come through. He's got to battle out with him. Also, Tyler Evans and Factor Grant Langston is now out of that World Supercross GP title race. He's had some surgery, not racing, and there's Damon Huffman right there on the Moto Triple X bike.
Affectionately known as the Diesel. So 250 heat number 2. Ezra Lusk, we like to welcome him back after injury. He's back on the line. 250 heat number 2 from Pontiac. And Lusk gets a good drive on the outside. Huffman goes inside, slows everyone up, and rebounds to come in and get the whole shot. Chad Reed checks into third, and Michael Byrne sits in second.
Wow, you see Huffman there stretching to get over the triple. It almost looked like he just lost his drive or something for a second there. It was kind of a crazy body position. Maybe that's all it was. He was set up wrong for it, but definitely looked a little bit scary. And we'll see how his form goes. The ankle healing up. He's feeling better walking around. He looks fine. No limp.
Watch Reed on the inside. Reed picks off 1 and picks off 2. Reed gets around Huffman and Michael Byrne in one straightaway, and that, my friends, is how you blitz through the whoop section.
Well, Chad Reed, definitely the master of the whoop section, throwing it down, shifting up, carrying the speed, and oh, you see him come hitting a little hard there on that last bump. It slowed him up a bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to let one of these guys back into the picture. They're really going to have to be on the gas, and watch Chad ride. He just turns the bike and puts it where he wants to, scrubs the speed on the throttle all the time, and David Vuillemin actually making a bit of a charge coming into the screen there behind Byrne.
Let's look at that pass one more time. Usually on the whoop sections, you're lucky if you get one pass, and this time Chad Reed makes it work twice as good. Here's the drive.
Watch him carry the speed. You see Huffman, you see him all kind of set up the same. Byrne actually sets up differently, wheel dropping. Chad just phenomenal, carrying it across the tops. These things are a couple feet deep, people. It's not kids playing. Right there, you see Huffman sliding backwards.
Vuillemin goes to the inside, and it looks like Vuillemin may have the position on Michael Byrne. Drops down, Byrne maintains the speed at the outside, so Michael Byrne maintains second place. David Vuillemin on the Yamaha, number 12, slides into third. So we've got a great battle going as Chad Reed is your leader. Michael Byrne goes high. Vuillemin's right there with him in case he makes a mistake.
And in either or there, you see Byrne go to the inside and hit that little bump, stutter bump, but not enough to give Vuillemin a chance to get by. They're very equal in time, and you see Byrne stretching it out. Vuillemin's going to have to just find the spot that he feels comfortable sticking a wheel inside of Byrne if he wants to make the move. I don't know if the track's going to let him have a spot. He's going to have to take it, unless he can get him in the whoops where we've seen Byrne dropping. And again, Byrne dropping, Vuillemin carrying the speed.
So the whoops seem to be the Achilles heel of Michael Byrne tonight as he has his problems. David Vuillemin slides past him, so Vuillemin moves up to second place, and it'll be interesting to see how David Vuillemin plays tonight because he is no longer training with David Bailey. He looks good right now as Chad Reed continues to lead. An impressive speed. Chad Reed at Pontiac. He loves this place, Cameron. Last year is where he started his streak. We'll be back to find out if Chad Reed can pick up yet another victory. There's your running order from Pontiac. Welcome back to Pontiac, Michigan. We'll get back to 250 heat number 2 in just a moment, but right now let's cruise the pits here at the Silverdome, courtesy of Honda's All Access. Welcome back to the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. Your leader here in 250 heat number 2 is Chad Reed. Moments ago, he turned a lap time of 50.209. Why is that important? Because in the previous heat, Kevin Windham turned a 51.7. So, Cameron, Chad Reed has definitely got the hot pace tonight.
Well, he's been consistently the fastest. In practice, he had the hot time. And actually, the second fastest guy was David Vuillemin, who's right now in second place. You can see the gap back to him. I mean,
it's over 100 yards.
Yeah, Chad has definitely got the speed here tonight.
7.2 second differential between the two Yamaha riders. Reed, your leader. Number 12, David Vuillemin sitting in second. Michael Byrne in third. Ezra Lusk, for not having ridden for a while, sits in fourth place, and that is a transfer position. So Vuillemin's lap time 2 seconds slower than Chad Reed's. So he's going to have to work out for the main, and we'll drop back to number 26. That is Michael Byrne, currently in third. There's the gap between him and Vuillemin. He's battling with Ezra Lusk, and you got to give a lot of credit to Ezra Lusk, Cameron. He's been away from it. Look the way he's riding.
Well, I was talking to him in the tunnel during practice today, and he said, you know, I haven't been on the bike a ton, but I've been riding a couple weeks. I feel pretty good. I'm not sore. And I asked him, you know, are you stoked to be racing? He just kind of smiled. He's just glad to be back out here. And you can see right now that he's got a challenge. He's got the diesel right behind him, and that's the last transfer spot, isn't it, Todd?
No question about it. Ezra Lusk right now in a very precarious situation. The fourth and final transfer spot, and oh, Ezra almost gets off there in the diesel. Damon Huffman's right there, unable to capitalize. They go through the triple. Ezra gets it back together.
Well, it's the whoops back at Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, where Ezra Lusk did unload and injure his wrist, and right there having a little bit of a bobble. Huffman doesn't want to give up this transfer spot. He doesn't want to have to ride the semifinal if he doesn't have to.
If you're just joining us, the battle is on in the World Supercross GP point standings. Damon Huffman is your leader, but only by 3 points over Heath Voss, who has already qualified for the main event out of 250 heat number 1. Ezra Lusk sits in front of him. Watch this again, Cameron. Did he just drop the front end or what?
Well, you see him back on the balls with his feet, going for it.
Oh.
Almost looked like he just got too much speed going and popped off of one and skipped one and then fell in. So Lusk definitely flying. Good position. Let's check him out here in the whoops right now and see how he negotiates it.
Back end dancing a bit. Yeah, the back end dance. Damon Huffman smooth. I think Huffman, this being the white flag, is got to start putting some pressure on him, because with just a few turns to go, I don't think he's going to get the job done if he doesn't get on him quick.
And the other thing to look out for there, big shout out to the 32 MotorWorldRacing.com. Andrew Short coming up into the fray. Might just run out of time, though.
Real estate is limited here in Detroit.
Oh!
They get together.
Great move by Andrew Short, but he didn't finish it. Damon Huffman come back. He's got the inside line here. Will he take... And there's Chad Reed.
Wow. Meanwhile, Chad Reed continues to lead. We'll watch him come across the checkered flag. Chad Reed, 2 seconds faster than Windham with a whip across. He gets the victory here in 250, heat number 2. As we wait for the rest of the field, and it could be a long wait. Some 15 seconds back as David Vuillemin now makes the turn for the final straightaway. Meanwhile, Andrew Short coming through. Damon Huffman slides back one. Vuillemin reclaims second place. What a mess this turns out to be. Michael Byrne will get third. Ezra Lusk will hold on for fourth, and Andrew Short will get fifth. Damon Huffman also going on to a semi-race. Unbelievable as Chad Reed gets set to do his post-race interview. Look at that lap time, though, of 50.095. 250 semi number 2 goes into the books. It's Reed, Vuillemin, Byrne, and Lusk all advancing on to the main event. Chad Reed now standing by with Jamie Little.
I'll tell you what, Todd. Chad, I walked you through the whoops. You're like Superman. You pass those guys like they're standing still. Now you come out, you were 2 seconds a lap faster than Kevin Windham. Is that what you're shooting for?
I'm just shooting for the win, you know, and doing what it takes and doing what it takes to make me feel comfortable. And DirtWorks did a great job of preparing the track this weekend. So really looking forward to it. My bike's running awesome. Tires are awesome. And, you know, I'm real happy all the guys from Thor and Parts Limited are here. So I'm having fun, ready to try and get another win.
All right, you know, you guys, we always look at the times in practice. I think Chad just was a second faster. So that goes to tell you, they're always different.
Your final 3 chances to see it live. Texas Stadium on the 17th, Salt Lake City on the 24th, and Sam Boyd Stadium on May 1st. Right now it's time for the Suzuki Question of the Week.
How does the cold weather here in the Midwest affect the motorcycle? What a great question. The cold affects our bikes in a couple ways. Sometimes our bikes will run lean. We will definitely have to richen them up. And if it's cold enough, we'll definitely have to change the coolant. But not only that, the mechanics get cold. And the only way to cure that is a good finish and a set of long johns and maybe a cup of hot cocoa. So anyways, thanks for the question of the week. I'm Billy Phelps, Team Suzuki.
And right now it's time to take a look at our Thor qualifying results.
In semi number 1 is T.E. Tyler Evans. Semi 2, Damon Huffman led the charge. And in the last chance qualifier, it was Wilson and Hoffmaster making it through.
Coming up, the 250 main from Pontiac, Michigan. Kevin Windham will give it a go, but you can count on Chad Reed being out in front. Stay with us for the main after this. And we welcome you back to the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. This is the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And earlier tonight, Travis Pastrana in the house, shaking hands and giving autographs, and we are lucky to have Mr. Pastrana in the booth with us tonight. Todd Harris, Cameron Steele, Jamie Little, and Travis Pastrana. Travis, first thing I want to ask you is, how was the leg?
Leg's doing good. Actually, didn't crawl fast enough back there in St. Louis. Got run over and actually broke my ankle, but good to go now.
Great to have you up here. He'll be calling the 250 main with us. Earlier, Jimmy Wilson was ecstatic. He's on the line for the main event, and he just happens to be our Nissan Rider of the Week profile.
My name is Jimmy Wilson. I ride for MXPrivateer.net, SoCal, Decal Works, Michelin Honda, number 128. Being a privateer is pretty rough, you know, because we don't get as much track time as the factory guys. We don't get the equipment that those guys get, and just go out there and just do my best and try to compete and see where my lap times compete with the big guys. This year's been going pretty good. I should have made 3 main events, but had some bad luck. Had a big misunderstanding at Atlanta with Grant Langston that got my claim to fame this year and got me pretty popular on the webcast and stuff. My goal in Supercross is definitely to become like a Kevin Windham, but you know, I'm getting kind of old. I'm like 25, and so I'm just whatever. Just stop there just to make main events and, you know, top 15, be a top privateer. I really would like to get a top privateer honor one day in my career.
So good to see Jimmy Wilson making the main event here in Pontiac, Michigan. We're in the Silverdome, the 250 main lining up as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, David Vuillemin, Mike LaRocco, Michael Byrne, Nick Way, Ezra Lusk. The only name that's not up there is Travis Pastrana and Ricky Carmichael, but all the stars are here. Nathan Ramsey's in, as is Craig Anderson, who had a great run. Ryan Clark, who will be running our helmet camera. Number 43, Clark doing the duties tonight. And hopefully Clark can get up there and mix it up with the big fellas. Cameron, as we get lined up for this event with only 3 to go, who do you think the pressure's more on, Windham or Reed?
Well, actually, Windham has to get a great start because we know that Chad has great time on his laps. He's the fastest guy out there. Someone needs to get ahead of him in the start.
This start has been completely wild. The guys that come out almost dead last can square off that first turn and come back to the inside, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out right here.
It is a very short starting line as they head into that first turn, as they all go for the Butterfinger hole shot. The 30 board is straight up.
Look how focused Chad Reed is on that 32nd board.
You've been there before, Travis. What's it like? What's going through your mind right now?
Butterflies, nerves, everything else is completely blacked out. You're just waiting for that card to go sideways so you can count down the gate.
The 30 board goes sideways. We are set to go racing the 250 main from Pontiac. Chad Reed slides to the inside. Can he come out unscathed? Everyone piling up in the corner. Look at this.
Kevin Windham and Chad Reed both tangled. This is going to be a great race.
Damon Huffman goes out, gets the Butterfinger hole shot with Mike LaRocco in tow.
Ezra Lusk, one of his first races back, is looking really good up there in 4th place.
And Craig Anderson sitting in 3rd.
And the thing you got to check out right now is Mike LaRocco has got himself another start. He's in 2nd place. He won the last one. If he get past Huffman and keep it real wide, he can win this again. The guys have been real fast in the back, but
you know what? I don't know if anyone's going to touch Reed tonight. He has been looking so good throughout his practices, heat races, and he flies through the whoops.
Damon Huffman out in front. Everyone trying to track him down. Let's look at it one more time. Travis Pastrana, how did Damon Huffman do it?
Man, actually, he went pretty wide there. I thought the inside guys were going to cut in, but you see Reed and Windham right there tangling, and Huffman just came out on top.
Back to racing action. Damon Huffman is your leader. Anderson squares it off, holds up Mike LaRocco. And as they come through 3 wide, here comes Travis. Oh, look at this. Chad Reed squeezing in there. I was about to say, here comes Travis Pastrana, but he's sitting right next to me. Chad Reed moves up another position. So it's Chad Reed in third now.
Reed just seems like he's cruising around these guys. It's really amazing how quick that guy goes out here.
So smooth, picking the lines, and now he's got a real formidable opponent right here. I mean, it's going to be one-on-one with him and LaRocco, and he's got to pick the smart line. Travis, how do you get around LaRocco a vet like this, and he can make it wide?
I'm a bad person to ask. LaRocco is the widest guy in the entire world to get around, so Reed's probably going to take a little bit of time here, unless he can just pull something amazing out.
We know you've tangled with LaRocco before, and you know you never want to tangle, especially when you're up front running for a win here. And Chad's definitely positioned to still win this event.
Yeah, Chad's not worried right now. He's just taking his time, but Mike LaRocco, he's going to ride his own race and not really worry about where Reed is. He keeps blocking him without even really meaning to.
So the battle is on for second place, and Chad Reed just blasts through that section, caught LaRocco off guard. So Chad Reed goes into second. Now he'll go to work on another Honda. Damon Huffman out in front, but Chad Reed has been so cool. Travis, I think the thing that impressed me most about Chad is he gets into a bad situation, and he just remains so cool. Look at that.
There he goes. Man, when you're as fast as Chad Reed is on some of these sections, it doesn't matter how wide the guy in front of you gets.
He flew past Damon Huffman right there, and nothing the diesel Damon can do. And, you know, Damon's smart. He's going to ride hard. He wants to get as many points as he can. Right now in second place. That's so good for that world title he's leading right now.
Well, this is certainly dangerous time for the rest of the pack. Chad Reed out in front with no one in front of him. A relatively groomed track and a lot of speed and motivation coming off of a disappointing finish in Indianapolis.
You know, Windham's having a lot of hard time getting by these guys, but Chad he's just gone right now. It's going to be tough for anyone to catch.
Chad Reed out of Dade City, Florida on the Yamaha YZ250, Yamaha Motor Corps, Bridgestone, and Scott sponsored rider out in front, making it look easy. Let's look at the pass one more time, Travis. Is this textbook or what?
Man, everyone else started jumping. Reed's out of the main line, out of the groove, and just pinning it by Damon Huffman.
Carrying so much momentum, Travis, through those whoops. Talk about the setup and getting through those whoops. We talked about getting into third gear. Is it really, I mean, carrying your speed at the beginning is the key to being fast at the end of them.
Yeah, I really wouldn't doubt if Chad's in fourth gear right there. No one else is going through the whoops near as fast as he was. There's a rut forming in the middle where everyone's kind of jumping through, and he's just electing to stay out of the easy line. And unbelievable. Huge
Look at
gap
the gap
right
already. This is amazing. Well, Chad Reed's last lap time of 50.56. Everyone else logging 53 for Damon Huffman and 54 for LaRocco. Here's your battle for second. Damon Huffman, number 20, sits in second place right now. Mike LaRocco, number 5, sits in third. And here comes Ezra Last and Sean Hamlin.
Yeah, Ezra and Sean are both putting in really good rides. Ezra, for his first race back, we'll see if he can make it to the end, but this is a really good ride for him.
We are a quarter of the way through the 250 main event from Pontiac. Chad Reed continues to lead. Damon Huffman sits in second. And the topic that's been on everyone's mind today, so Travis, let's get to it. The thought of having you, Ricky Carmichael, Brock Kepler, Davey Millsap all under the Suzuki banner next year.
Roger's really smiling a big grin right now for the first time in a while. It's just, you know, we got a really strong team for next year. And, you know, watching this race, it's just, you know, we got the bikes, we got everything we need to get out there. And I think next year with Ricky being the main guy, it's gonna bring everyone's game up.
It'll be a great year next year, but we got a great battle right now. This is the 250 main from Pontiac. Chad Reed is your leader, followed by Damon Huffman, Mike LaRocco, and Ezra Lusk is in the battle. Come back and watch more 250 main.
Rated E for everyone.
We're in the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. 250 main on tap. Your leader, Chad Reed. We got a great battle right now. Bruin second, third, and fourth. Ezra Lusk in the fray. He is followed by Damon Huffman, who we passed moments ago. And Huffman, like Travis has pointed out, in a very tough position right now because here comes Kevin Windham.
Kevin Windham doing the exact same line, followed by David Vuillemin that Reed was doing. They're getting out of the main groove, the easy groove, making it harder on themselves. It's going to be very tiring towards the end of the race, but they are making it work.
Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele, Jamie Little on the floor, and we're lucky to have Travis Pastrana up in the booth with us, and here they come.
Vuillemin just making a pass on Kevin Windham, and I was about to say that section right where he got passed. In practice, Kevin Windham could triple that. He's not doing it right now in the main event, so a little surprised by that.
This track is extremely slick, a lot of rocks, a lot of stuff to throw you off. Reed's still managing to get over it, but I tell you what, David Vuillemin is really riding a great race. I wouldn't bet if this whole pack catches up.
Here's the LaRocco pass on Huffman, Travis. Take us through it.
Well, right there you saw Damon Huffman make a little bit of a mistake, and LaRocco, and he's there. He's always there.
And here's Ezra Lusk making the pass.
Ezra Lusk is riding extremely well right here, going to the inside of Damon Huffman, and you see it same place.
And right there, again, Huffman not going to do that next double, so that's definitely a problem area for him.
Well, if you're just joining us, it's Chad Reed way out in front, Mike LaRocco comfortably in second, and then we got a great battle of third, fourth, and fifth. David Vuillemin, Ezra Lusk, and Kevin Windham. Windham, who sits in second place overall behind Chad Reed, cannot afford to drop these points to these two Yamaha riders.
And watch, this battle is going to slowly creep up on LaRocco. Mike is the Iron Man. He's the guy that's going to be lasting the longest, but these guys' pace is definitely catching up.
Windham gets past Ezra Lusk. And I got to give a lot of credit to Ezra Lusk, guy who's been off the bike for several weeks after injury. He comes back riding very strong.
Ezra is riding extremely well, but I'm really impressed with David Vuillemin. He's moved right past Windham from way in the back of the pack and is up to third already.
And meanwhile, Chad Reed is all but checked out. Checking back with you, Travis, on the, I guess, the formation of super teams. We see these teams getting put together in names like Carmichael and Pastrana and Reed. Is there a day when someone will be able to corner the market and put all of you guys in the same team, or is that not good for the sport?
No, I think it's great for the sport. I'd love to see all those guys in the same team, but man, it would be so much controversy coming back to the days of Stanton and T. Michelle Bale when those guys pretty much hated each other.
If you're just joining us, the news this week that really rocked the Supercross world, Ricky Carmichael deciding to go over to Team Suzuki for the 2005 Supercross season. He'll still ride Honda for the Outdoor Nationals this summer. But, wow, it really shakes things up. Back to racing action here in Pontiac. There's Kevin Windham right now, currently running in fourth.
And that could put some pressure on Windham. You know, he has to carry the flag for Honda, he and LaRocco, but you never know what's going to happen in the offseason. As we talked about, Reed and Stewart still available. And right now, Kevin Windham looks like he's sliding around a little bit, Travis. You know, when you look at him taking lines, is that because he's trying to attack you harder, because he's staying to the inside more?
Well, Windham has really been struggling with this track all weekend. It's a very, very slick, fast track. So you would think it would favor the four-stroke, but, you know, the two-strokes are doing just awesome out here. So it's very interesting.
As he goes by, the pit board says, have fun, and it looks like he's really pushing the issue right now as we go back to our leader, a guy who's definitely having fun. And if they had a Supercross dictionary and you looked up the word cool, I guarantee Chad Reed would be under it, because this guy, whether he's in last or first, his riding style is so fluid and so flawless.
Well, if you look at Chad Reed, he's just been amazing all weekend throughout every practice, fastest times all the way through by 2 to sometimes even 3 seconds here in the main event.
Well, we got riders getting off, and Travis Pastrana caught off guard, as you see. And there's the interval back to second place.
Still looking. There we go.
Wow, that's some distance.
That's how far back he is. We thought, you know, one of the lappers might have been LaRocco coming through. And Iron Mike, my buddy Ackerman, calls him meat and potatoes because he's always working so hard. He's just like the Iron Man of the sport.
Here's a question. Here's a guy, Mike LaRocco. How long can he go for? Is he available for 2-3 more years?
Man, I keep thinking Mike's about done, but that guy, he keeps coming, and he's still winning races. I mean, he's a fan favorite, and he's definitely, as long as he wants to be out there, he's going to be up front.
Here comes David Vuillemin, number 12, and this has been really his Achilles. A lot of people said in the latter part of races, David Vuillemin tends to drop anchor and slow down, but not this week, Cameron.
And actually, you know, in the last race, we know that Davey Coombs had said that, and I think Vuillemin got a little fired up.
Yep.
And you know what I always like to say is Vuillemin's best when he's a little bit angry.
No question.
You know, so maybe he's got a point to prove. And, you know, Travis, when you get into a mental mindset of, you know, you just want to go, and when things are flowing, how's it go? I mean, you can just keep going.
Man, it's extremely tough, but right now David Vuillemin is just flowing out there, and, you know, he's catching up to Mike LaRocco fairly well.
We'll step aside, take a break. When we come back, the conclusion of the 250 main event. Reed continues to lead.
Your
Welcome back to the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. You're watching the 250 main, and that young man has won the 125 East. James Stewart, senior and junior, watching with intent here, the 250 main event.
David Vuillemin and Mike LaRocco are going at it. Vuillemin proving all the skeptics wrong that he can last at the end of the race. And watch his whoop section right here. It's just unbelievable. He's doing the exact opposite. He's blitzing through. Oh, rider down.
Well, this is the battle for second place. Mike LaRocco sits in second. David Vuillemin sits in third. Chad Reed is your leader.
And it actually looks like it's funny because LaRocco seems to move out a little bit on him, then Vuillemin has a tendency to catch him more in this flat area right after the finish line. See what the lines look like here. David really flying around that outside.
And then trying to stay out of the roost.
And he goes to the outside here. Watch him take the speed and try to get to the inside, but LaRocco now knows he's going to the inside, so LaRocco's kind of moving to the inside.
You see LaRocco right there still doing the triple. David is actually doing a triple on the opposite side that Mike is not doing. So if he can get close in the whoop section, I think this is going to be his best shot.
Mike LaRocco, number 5, sits in second place. David Vuillemin, number 12, on board the Yamaha, sits in third. Meanwhile, Chad Reed, number 22, out in front. On the left side of your screen, that is Chad Reed as he goes through one more time. Reed brings it down to just 2 laps to go. On the right side of your screen, the battle for second.
Here we go, David. If he can get 3 out of the corner, he didn't get it that lap. This is going to be a battle to the wire, I tell you what. But Chad Reed just out front, cruising, looking unbelievable. I've never seen anyone flow on that bike since Jeremy McGrath back in the day.
Yeah, the comparisons to Jeremy McGrath are many, but Chad Reed certainly deserves them the way he's been riding. He hasn't had all the results he's wanted this year. I know he was very disappointed with a third in Indianapolis, but you know what? From where he came from in that start to where he finished was unbelievable.
That was one of the best races I've ever seen in my entire life. The heart he showed, even though the points are spread out enough, he didn't have to. Chad Reed came through that pack with a lot of inspiration.
And you see this time, Vuillemin skimming the whoops. The last time around, and maybe it was because Tyler Evans was down, but both riders jumping through like a rhythm section. So looks like Vuillemin trying to find a way, because this is going to be the white flag coming out here.
White flag is out for Chad Reed. Here comes LaRocco and Vuillemin. They'll battle for positions on the podium. Joe Alif in front of them, a lap rider. LaRocco number 5, Vuillemin number 12. As Chad Reed is halfway through the final lap, Alif moves over, and here comes Vuillemin. I gotta think he's gonna do it on this next corner if he's gonna have any shot at this.
LaRocco can smell the barn, though. I tell you what, this is going to be almost impossible for David to get around Mike on this. He gets wide. I'll tell you what, he gets wider than anybody.
Anderson getting in the way just a little bit. You saw Alif was in Vuillemin's line setting up to that triple, so there wasn't really space. And look at this.
Oh, my.
Anderson blocking on Vuillemin, so giving LaRocco some breathing room.
That makes you so frustrated as a rider when someone gets in the way like that. And this group actually caught back up to Chad Reed, who's coming across the finish line now.
Your winner, 250 main event, number 22, Chad Reed picks up yet another victory. Mike LaRocco brings it home for second, and David Vuillemin will grab a podium position in third.
If you look back there, Kevin Windham coming across. This was a very disheartening race for K-Dub.
Yeah, no question about it.
Not a bad ride for Nick Way either, coming across in 5th right there.
So Windham gets 4th, Nick Way gets 5th, but Chad Reed dominates the evening. Chad Reed picks up yet another victory. He gets closer to clinching the 250 title, looking to Dallas, Salt Lake City, and then the wrap-up in Las Vegas, Nevada. Impressive job by the young Australian. When we come back, we'll talk with him as well as our other podium members when we return to Pontiac. This is the 250 main, your winner, Chad Reed. Welcome back to Pontiac, Michigan. We're in the Silverdome, the conclusion of the 250 main event. Our thanks to Travis Pastrana for joining us in the booth for the 250 main. And Travis says he will be back racing for the conclusion in Las Vegas. As we take a look at our Honda official results from the 250 main, your winner, Chad Reed on top, Mike LaRocco and David Vuillemin rounding out the top 3. Kevin Windham rebounds to get 4th. Nick Way rounds out the top 5. Then Hamlin, Voss, Huffman, Lust, and Michael Byrne the top 10. Ryan Clark, Nathan Ramsey, Keith Johnson with a good run, Joe Alif, and Isaiah Johnson, Hawkmaster Wilson, Anderson, Evans, and Thomas. Let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, Todd, one of the best battles we saw the whole night was David Vuillemin, Mike LaRocco. David, hard charging all the way to the end, but the last lap, the lappers were getting in the way.
Yeah, you know, it was a great race. I had a terrible start, and I was far back, and, you know, I tried 100%, and, you know, I got through. I'm really pumped about it. You know, the last few weeks I had arm pump, and I started good and faded back, and, you know, I'm happy to do like, you know, 20 strong laps, you know, and, you know, it's good, and 3 more races, you know, I'm going to try to get a win or something, you know. Chad is running really good. I'm happy for Yamaha, for everybody, but, you know, I'm really happy to be back on the podium.
All right, and he has a little bit of extra added motivation, you guys. He just found out that his wife is expecting their 2nd child.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie, for the maternity report, and congratulations to David Vuillemin and his wife. We wish them the very best as they add to their family. Well, a great race tonight. And I'll tell you what, Jamie hit it right on the head. One of the best battles we've seen between David Vuillemin and Mike LaRocco as they battle for that 1 position on the podium. Vuillemin gets 3rd. LaRocco winds up in 2nd place. Right now, let's send it back down to Jamie, who's with The Rock.
Well, we heard Travis Pastrana saying it. You don't want to be behind this guy. He's one of the toughest riders out there to get around. Travis also said that you were doing more technical stuff on the track than anybody besides Reed.
Well, it didn't feel like it because Reed pretty much made us all look silly tonight. So I didn't feel real comfortable all weekend. And, you know, fortunately I got a good start and I was able to ride, you know, just do a couple obstacles and just hang in there and try to recharge and then head back for next week.
Hey, that's something we don't hear LaRocco say very often. I got that good start.
At least something's working, right?
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Congratulations to Mike LaRocco, a 1st in Indianapolis, a 2nd here. And remember, folks, it all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada on May 1st, the official destination of Supercross. Well, Cameron, I'll tell you what, as we look at the standings right now, Chad Reed looks dominating. He could clinch probably in Salt Lake City, and would take a little bit of luster off Vegas. But the race that we really want to look at is the World Supercross GP, and Damon Huffman and Heath Voss are going to battle all the way down to the desert.
I like it, you know, finishing up in Las Vegas, the biggest party town in the world. Someone's going to be celebrating with the champagne, throwing the dice. I'm ready for Vegas.
All right, with that, let's send it down to Jamie Little, who is with tonight's winner.
Well, last year, Chad Reed won 8 races on the whole season. Tonight, he made it 9. He broke that streak. We got a very happy man up here. A lot's been going on. I'm sure a lot going on through your mind. With all the contract deals, I know you just want to ride your bike.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's that time of the year, and some of that stuff can be distracting. So I just looking forward to going out there, putting good laps together, and you know, I think the Dirtworks guys did a great job of the track this weekend. You know, it was a really nice job, and I was just looking forward to racing the whole weekend as soon as I seen the track. And just want to give a big thanks to all my guys at the team and Thor and Parts Unlimited, Bridgestone, and the fans. You know, they were great here tonight, and it's good to get a win again.
Our next show comes to you Sunday, April 18th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So on behalf of Cameron Steele and Jamie Little, I'm Todd Harrison. Good night from Detroit. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from Detroit, your winner, Chad Reed.